The jungle was hot, not the kind of heat that made you sweat, but the kind that made your lungs feel heavy. Cole wiped his forehead and checked his map again. He had been walking for 5 hours through thick trees and deep vines. His boots were muddy. His water bottle was almost empty. The bugs kept buzzing near his ears. He had come to planet Verinox as part of a small human research team. They were studying plants, soil, and signs of old alien life. But Cole had gone farther than the others. He always liked finding things no one else had seen. He didn't expect to find screaming. It started as a faint cry, high-pitched, sharp. Then came another and another. It wasn't an animal. It sounded like a voice, full of pain and fear. Cole froze, looked around. There were no birds now. No sounds of leaves moving. Even the bugs had stopped. Only the screams remained, and they were getting louder. He slowly moved forward, pushing vines aside. His heart was beating fast now, not from walking, but from something deeper. Something was wrong. Very wrong. As he stepped, out of the thickest trees he saw smoke rising ahead. Black. Thick, burning wood. He crouched low and crawled forward through the grass. The ground felt warm now. He reached a clearing and stopped. What he saw made his hands shake. In the center of the clearing was a large wooden frame built above a fire pit. The fire burned bright, and tied to the frame was a girl. She was not human. Her skin was smooth and silver blue, her hair long, dark, and messy. Her arms and legs were tied with thick ropes. Her body hung just above the flames, not touching yet, but close. Too close. She screamed again. Sound so full of terror that Cole felt it in his bones. Around the fire stood a group of aliens, humanoid but dressed in bones, feathers, and dirt-covered cloth. Their skin was rough and gray. Their faces were painted with ash. They were chanting, dancing, moving in a circle. Some held spears. Others carried small torches. They were not in a rush. They were enjoying it, celebrating. Cole felt sick. He ducked behind a log and pulled out his scope, zoomed in on the girl's face. She was young, maybe 13, maybe less. Her eyes were wide and full of tears. Her lips moved. She wasn't just screaming now, she was begging. Cole didn't know the language, but he understood her meaning. Please, help me. His hand moved to the side of his belt. He only had one weapon, a compact plasma pistol, small, old, but deadly at close range. Not enough to fight a whole tribe, but maybe enough for one shot. He looked again, counted 8 tribe members. Most stood near the flames. One was dancing wildly. One sat watching with a long staff, maybe a leader. Cole's mind raced. He could run, go back, report it. But the fire was rising. The heat was getting closer to the girl's skin. She screamed again. Her voice cracked. Cole whispered, "I can't leave her." He took out the pistol, took a deep breath, aimed. His hands were sweaty. His heart pounded in his ears. The shot had to be perfect, only one chance. He aimed at the rope tied to the wooden frame, just above the girl's feet. One breath in, one out. Then, fire. The plasma bolt flew through the air, bright and hot. It hit the rope. Snap. The rope broke. The girl's legs dropped lower, but she didn't fall. The tribe shouted in surprise. They looked around. Weapons raised. Cole ducked. He had only seconds. He ran forward, fast and low. He didn't care about the spears now. He didn't care if he died. He just knew one thing. He couldn't let that girl burn. The tribe screamed in anger. One threw a spear. It missed. Cole reached the frame. He jumped up, grabbed the girl's arm, and sliced the last rope with his knife. She fell into his arms, light and shaking. Her skin was burning hot, but still alive. Her eyes met his. She didn't speak. She didn't need to. They both understood. Run. Cole turned and ran into the jungle, carrying her tight in his arms. The tribe shouted behind him, but he didn't stop. He couldn't. The jungle swallowed them both, but the fire still burned behind, and the screams had only just begun. Cole didn't stop running. Branches whipped across his face. Thorns tore at his sleeves. Mud splashed with every step. But he didn't let go of the girl. Her skin was burning hot. She trembled in his arms. Her eyes were closed now, but she was breathing. Barely. Behind him, angry shouts echoed through the jungle. The tribe was coming. He had no map, no path, just instinct. He ducked under a fallen log and ran through a field of tall grass. The sound of drums beat in the distance, louder than before. "They're spreading out," Cole whispered, "trying to surround me." He glanced down at the girl. She didn't move. Her wrists were red and swollen where the ropes had cut deep. Her silver-blue skin was stained with soot and bruises, but her chest rose and fell. That meant she still had a chance, if he moved fast. After 30 more minutes, Cole found a break in the trees, an old scout shelter hidden between stones and vines. It was small, cracked, but dry. He pushed the door, open with his boot, and rushed inside. He laid the girl on the floor gently. Her eyes fluttered. She let out a weak breath. Cole dropped to his knees and opened his med pack. "I got you," he said softly. "You're safe now." He poured water over a cloth and began wiping the soot from her face. She flinched, but didn't speak. Her lips were dry, her body weak. Cole crushed a hydration tablet into a bottle and held it near her mouth. "Drink this," he whispered. She sipped, just a little. But it was enough. Outside, the jungle was still. But Cole knew that wouldn't last long. He checked his pistol. Only 2 plasma cells left. If the tribe found him, it wouldn't be enough. He looked back at the girl. She opened her eyes fully now. Her pupils were large, not black, not white. Golden. She stared at him. Confused. Afraid. "It's okay," Cole said, raising both hands. "I'm not one of them. I'm here to help." Her lips moved, but no sound came. He leaned closer. She tried again. "Why, save me?" Cole blinked. "You were burning alive," he said. "How could I not?" She frowned weakly. "No one ever helps." Cole swallowed. "Well, I do." She coughed. Hard. He turned her gently to the side, letting the black smoke rise. From her throat, it smelled like old wood and burned cloth, like death. "What's your name?" Cole asked. She didn't answer right away. Then she whispered, "Selah." He nodded. "I'm Cole." She looked around the shelter, her eyes scanning the cracks in the walls, the dusty corners. "Not safe here," she said. "I know," he replied. "But it's all we've got." For the next hour, Cole cleaned her wounds, wrapped her arms, and gave her soft rations to eat. She didn't talk much, but her breathing grew stronger. Her hands stopped shaking. Then, a sharp sound came from outside. Drumbeat. Close. Selah's eyes widened. "They're here," she whispered. Cole stood at once, his pistol in hand. He moved to the window and peered through the leaves. Figures moved in the trees, painted faces, carrying torches. "They're hunting us," Cole said. Selah's voice shook. "They always finish what they start." Cole looked at her. "No," he said. "Not this time." He grabbed his bag, helped her sit up, and carefully lifted her into his arms again. She didn't fight it. She just held on. He left through the back, silent, fast. The jungle floor was soft here, covered in thick moss. Every step had to be perfect. Behind them, the torches moved closer. The tribe was fanning out. Hunters in every direction. As Cole moved through the dark trees, Selah spoke. "Again, they wanted to burn me for the sky. What does that mean?" he asked. She didn't answer, just closed her eyes. A sharp cry rang out behind them. The tribe had found the shelter. Cole kept moving. Faster. The girl's breathing was getting heavy again. He needed to find a new place. Somewhere. Safe. Then he saw it. A hollow beneath an old tree. half hidden by hanging roots. He slid down the slope and crawled inside. It was small and dark, but dry. He laid her down and covered the entrance with branches, then sat beside her, pistol in hand, watching the entrance, listening, waiting. Sella's voice came again, soft and broken. They called me a curse. Cole looked at her. You're not a curse, he said. You're just a girl. She opened her eyes, and this time, she smiled, just a little, the first smile he'd seen. The drums faded into the distance. For now, they had survived. The night was thick with shadows. Inside the hidden tree hollow, Cole sat with his back to the wall, his pistol resting in his lap. Every few minutes, he checked the small alien girl beside him. Sella slept, but not peacefully. She twitched in her sleep, mumbled in a strange language. Her fingers curled like she was still tied to the fire. Cole had seen war before. But this was something else. She had been hunted by her own kind, burned like an offering, and now they were both being hunted. He checked the pistol again. Only one full plasma cell left. One shot. That was all. He looked through the small gap in the branches. The jungle outside was darker than usual. Even the stars above were hidden behind heavy clouds, no light, no hope, just silence. Until a twig snapped. Cole froze. Another snap. Closer now. Then a soft rustling in the bushes. He crouched low, held his breath, and raised the pistol. A figure moved between trees, slow, careful, holding a torch low to the ground. One of the hunters. Then, another appeared behind him. They were moving in a sweep, scanning the jungle, speaking in short clicks and growls. They were close. Too close. Sella stirred beside him. Her eyes opened slowly. Cole leaned down and whispered, "Stay quiet. Don't move." She nodded weakly. The light from the torches was getting brighter. Cole's heart pounded. They were heading straight for the hollow. He had two choices: wait and hope they passed, or take the shot now. But if he missed, Sela would. So would he? He looked at her again. She stared back and whispered, "You should run." Cole almost laughed, but there was no time for jokes. "I didn't carry you out of fire just to drop you in the dirt," he whispered back. He crawled silently to the edge of the hollow. He could now see the lead hunter clearly. Gray skin, war, paint, sharp spear. Just one shot, one chance. Cole aimed, took a slow breath, and fired. The plasma bolt flew like lightning, silent but deadly. It struck the hunter in the chest. The torch dropped. The body fell. The second hunter roared in alarm. Cole jumped from cover and tackled him to the ground. The spear flew from the alien's hand as they rolled through the mud. The alien was strong, almost as big as Cole, but wounded. Cole grabbed a rock and struck the alien's temple. Once. Twice. The body went still. Cole stood, breathing hard. His hands were shaking, his arm was bleeding. But he was alive. And so was Sella. He ran back to the hollow. She was standing now, barely, her eyes wide with fear. "You killed them," she said softly. He nodded. "Had to." She stepped forward and pressed her small hand to his chest. "I saw you run into fire," she whispered. "You're not like the others." He didn't reply. He just picked up his bag and helped her out of the hollow. "We need to move," he said. "They'll hear the shot." For the next hour, they traveled in silence, moving from cover to cover through thick roots and shallow streams. Every time Sela stumbled, Cole caught her. Every time Cole slowed down, Sela reached for his arm. They were no longer stranger and survivor. They were partners now. Finally, they reached a cliffside high above the trees. From here, Cole could see the smoke from the tribal campfires. They were far, but not far enough. He looked at the stars above and pulled out his emergency beacon. Still broken. No signal. They had to keep moving. But where? Sela sat down beside him, tired. She stared at the sky and whispered, They burned me for the sky gods. Cole turned. What? They think my blood brings light. He frowned. That's not true. I know, she said. But truth doesn't matter to them. He looked down at her. She was thin, shaking, but alive. Then we'll find people who care about truth, he said. Somewhere. She looked at him again. I don't want to run forever. You won't, Cole said. Promise? He nodded. I promise. He didn't know how he'd keep it, but as he held the empty pistol in his hand, he knew one thing: he would try, even if it cost him everything. The jungle didn't sleep. Even in the deep dark, it was alive, full of sounds, eyes, and hidden dangers. Cole moved fast through the thick trees, his legs aching, boots soaked with mud. His arm still throbbed where the tribal hunter's blade had grazed him, but he didn't stop. Sela clung to his back, weak but awake, her small arms wrapped around his shoulders. Her voice was quiet against his ear. They're close. Cole didn't ask how she knew. She just knew. The two of them had been moving for hours, trying to reach an old outpost Cole remembered from the mapping data. It was north, past the cliffs and through the deadroot swamp. No one used it anymore. But maybe, just maybe, the comm system still worked. They needed help. They needed off this cursed planet. Suddenly, Sela gripped his shoulder tighter. Stop. Cole froze. She lifted her head. Listen. He heard it. A sound behind the trees. Not drums, not voices. Breathing. Heavy. Animal-like. Cole set her down gently behind a thick log and crouched low. He raised his empty pistol out of habit. It didn't matter now. It was out of charge. But it made him feel less helpless. Then it stepped into view. Not a hunter. Something worse, a tribal beast. Tall. 4 legs. Metal armor strapped to its body. A mask over its face. Its eyes glowed red through slits. Its body reeked of blood and smoke. Cole's breath caught. He had heard of these. Creatures bred only for war and tracking. Used by the tribe to hunt escaped. Slaves. It sniffed the air, turned toward the log. Sela whimpered. Cole pressed a hand over her mouth and whispered, Don't move. The beast growled, then charged. Cole pushed Sela aside just in time. The creature smashed through the log, splinters flying in every direction. Cole rolled, grabbed a branch and swung it hard at the beast's head. It snapped in half. The creature roared and lunged again. Cole ran. Sela followed, limping but fast. They dodged between trees, jumped over roots, slid down a muddy slope. The beast kept coming. Closer, louder, faster. Cole reached into his pack. Nothing useful. Just rations, bandages, and a flare. A flare. He stopped suddenly and turned. Sela screamed, What are you doing? Trust me, he shouted. He pulled the cap off the flare, struck it hard and threw it at the beast's face. Boom, the red light exploded in front of the creature's mask. It shrieked and stumbled back, pawing at its face. Cole grabbed Sela's hand and ran again. For the next half hour, they didn't stop. They crossed a shallow river, climbed a steep rock face, and pushed through a thick patch of thorny plants. Their clothes tore, their feet bled. But finally, through the fog, a shape appeared, a tower, broken, tilted, overgrown, but real. The outpost. Cole dropped to his knees in front of the door. Sela collapsed beside him, coughing. He smashed the control panel with a rock. The door opened, barely. Just enough. They crawled. Inside. Inside it was dark and cold. Dust covered everything. Old chairs, cracked screens, dead wires. But it was shelter. Safe. For now. Cole leaned against the wall, breathing hard. Sela curled up beside him, shivering. He looked down at her. She was pale, exhausted, but alive. I told you we'd make it, he whispered. She gave him a tiny nod, and then she passed out. Cole stood and searched the room, found a power panel, dead. But the backup cell still had a flicker. He connected his datapad and ran a signal test. Weak. But there. A chance. He looked, out the cracked window. The jungle was quiet. But he knew the tribe wouldn't give up. They would come. Maybe with more beasts. Maybe with worse. He looked back at Sela. Her face was calm now, peaceful. She trusted him, and that made him stronger. He stood tall, checked the broken door, grabbed a metal rod. It wasn't much, but it would have to do. If they came again, he would fight, not because he had to, but because no one else ever had. It was still dark outside when she woke. The outpost was quiet. No fire, no footsteps, only the soft hum of the backup power Cole had managed to pull from an old panel. Sela lay on a thin mat, wrapped in a half-burned emergency blanket. Her face twitched as she opened her eyes. She didn't sit up, she didn't speak. She just stared at the broken ceiling above her. And then she began to cry. Cole looked up from the corner where he sat, still holding the metal rod in his hand like a weapon. He'd kept watch all night. His eyes were tired, red from smoke and lack of sleep. But when he saw her crying, he stood and walked over slowly. She didn't move as he knelt beside her. Didn't wipe the tears. Didn't hide. Just let them fall. I had the dream again, she whispered. Cole sat down next to her. What dream? The day they tied me to the frame, she said. Her voice was soft, shaky. I screamed for my mother. For anyone. He said nothing. She continued. No one came. Not even the stars. Cole looked at her face, so young, so exhausted. She was just a girl. But her eyes were old now, full of things no child should carry. Why did they do it? He asked gently. She looked at him. They said I was cursed, that my voice brought storms, that the sky burned villages after I sang. Cole frowned. Is that true? She shook her head. I only sang because I was happy. She sat up now, legs folded beneath her. Her arms were still wrapped in bandages. Scars lined her wrists, ankles, and back. Cole lowered his eyes. Sela's voice grew firmer. I was born different. The others had gray skin. Mine was blue. They said I was touched by skyfire. And so they wanted to burn you? Cole asked. Yes. For the gods. For the rain. For fear. Cole clenched his fists. It wasn't the first time he had seen cruelty on alien worlds, but this was worse. This was personal. She had been made into a warning, a symbol, and yet here she was. Still breathing. They called me sky-cursed, she said. Even my father believed it. She looked up at Cole. You don't. He shook his head. No, I don't. She tilted her head. Why? Cole thought for a moment. Because I watched you scream in pain and still live. Because I saw you broken and still fight. That's not a curse, Sela. He gave her a soft smile. That's strength. She stared at him. Then something in her face changed, like a wall she'd kept up for too long. Cracked. She leaned forward, slowly, and rested her head against his chest. Cole froze. But then, gently, he placed his arm around her. No words. No promises, just presence. I don't want to be alone anymore, she whispered. You're not, he replied. Not anymore. They sat in silence as the sun began to rise behind the mountains. A soft light poured through the broken window. For the first time in days, the jungle didn't feel like a trap. It felt distant, and the outpost felt like a beginning. After a while, Sela pulled back and wiped her face. I want to leave this planet, she said. Go somewhere quiet, somewhere with real stars, not the kind that burn. Cole nodded. We will. She looked at him. How? He smiled. One step at a time. He stood and walked to the dusty terminal, plugged in the old relay cable. The screen flickered. Signal strength. Weak, but alive. He turned back to her. "If someone's out there," he said, "they'll hear us." Selah stood beside him. "I hope they're kind," she whispered. "Me too." He pressed the button. A soft tone beeped, then static. Then, "This is Outpost Echo 7. Distress signal received. Please identify." Cole smiled. Selah gasped. He looked at her. "Ready?" She nodded. He pressed the button again. "This is human researcher Cole Anders. I have a survivor. Female alien child. She's the reason I'm still alive. Request evac." Selah reached for his hand. He didn't pull away. Outside the outpost, the jungle waited. But inside was a spark. Small, but real. The outpost lights flickered again. Cole sat at the terminal watching the signal repeat. Every 30 seconds, the old system pinged the sky, sending out the same message. Human survivor with alien minor. Requesting emergency evac. Coordinates locked. But no answer had come yet. Behind him, Selah sat by the wall, her knees pulled to her chest, her eyes staring out the cracked window. Her face was calm now, but Cole had seen that look before. It was the kind of silence that came after holding something in too long. "You okay?" he asked softly. She didn't answer right away. Then, without turning, she said, "There's something I haven't told you." Cole looked over. "Okay." "I'm not just a girl they hated," she said. "Not just someone they tried to burn." She paused. "My voice really does call the sky." Cole stood and walked over to her. He crouched down, eyes steady. "What do you mean?" Selah turned her head. Her golden eyes were sharp now, clear, awake, unafraid. "I wasn't born in that village," she said. "My mother was part of a traveling clan, scientists. She found an old ship buried under the ice of the North Pole." Cole nodded slowly. "I've heard stories about ancient tech out there," he said. Selah nodded. It was real. The ship was old, older than our people. But it wasn't dead. She looked at the floor. It heard her. It spoke to her. Cole leaned in. "And you?" "She was pregnant with me when she touched it," Selah whispered. They said something changed. In her blood. The ship glowed brighter. It followed her voice. "And when you were born," Cole said. "I was different," she nodded. "My skin, my voice, my dreams." She looked up. "When I sang as a child, strange things happened. Lights in the sky. Ground shook beneath our home. Rain fell even in dry season." She paused. "The elders said it was a curse. But my mother believed it was a gift." "Where is she now?" Cole asked. Selah's face tightened. "She tried to protect me, tried to hide me from the tribe. But one night they came." Her voice dropped. She screamed louder than I did. Cole reached for her hand, gentle. Selah looked at his fingers, then slowly placed hers on top. Her hand was small, cold, but steady. "They think I'm a threat," she said. "They think my voice brings destruction." Cole shook his head. "No, you're not a weapon." "They don't care," Selah replied. "They don't understand that I never meant to call the sky. I just wanted to feel less alone." Silence passed between them. Then Cole asked, "Did the ship respond to you?" She nodded. "When I sang near it, it opened. Just a little. I think it knew me." "And the tribe feared that," Cole said. "Yes." Selah stood and walked to the broken terminal. She looked at the signal light blinking slowly. "I think the ship is still awake," she whispered. "I think it hears me even now." Cole frowned. "Wait, are you saying the evac signal might not be the only thing listening?" Selah nodded. "I feel something above, something old, something waiting." A low hum started in the room. Not from the system, from the floor. Cole stepped back. "What is that?" Selah didn't move. She opened her mouth and began to hum. It wasn't a loud sound. Soft, gentle, like a lullaby. But as she sang, the outpost lights turned blue. The terminal screen glitched. Outside, a strong wind rose through the trees. Without warning, without clouds, the hum grew deeper, and then it stopped. Sela closed her lips. The wind vanished. The screen flashed. Unidentified signal received. Position confirmed. Response en route. Cole stared, his mouth slightly open. "You did that?" Sela nodded once. "I never wanted to be feared," she said. "I just wanted someone to understand." Cole stepped forward. "You don't have to hide anymore." He smiled. "I understand." Sela looked at him, and for the first time, she believed it. Outside, the stars blinked, but one of them was moving, getting closer, and Cole knew this wasn't just rescue. This was something much bigger. The sky above the jungle burned gold, not with fire, but with light. A star moved low across the horizon, silent and smooth. It was not a comet, not a flare. It was a ship, and it was coming fast. Cole stood outside the outpost, hand shielding his eyes. The winds had picked up again, swirling leaves and dust around his boots. He could feel something humming in his chest, the kind of sound you don't hear with your ears, but feel in your bones. Behind him, Sela stepped out slowly. Her silver-blue skin caught the rising sunlight. Her voice was quiet. "It heard me." Cole turned. "You were right." As the ship neared, its form became clear. It wasn't human-made. Smooth curves, pulsing blue lines. No visible engines. It moved like it belonged to the sky. Sela took a breath. "That's the same kind of ship my mother found." The humming grew louder. Cole stepped closer to her. "Are you scared?" Sela shook her head. "No," she said. "I've been running my whole life. This is the first time something came for me." The ship stopped mid-air, just above the outpost. No weapons, no threat, just presence. Then a beam of soft light fell over Sela. It didn't hurt. It wrapped her like warmth. She blinked. "They're asking if I'm ready," she whispered. Cole looked at her. "Are you?" She turned to him, eyes wide. "I don't want to leave you behind." He smiled. "You won't. But I don't know where they'll take me. Then I'll go with you." She blinked. "What?" "I said I'd carry you out of that fire." Cole said gently. "I didn't say where I'd stop." The beam shifted, wider. Now it touched him too. Sela looked up, eyes wet. "They say, you're welcome. They've been watching. They know." Cole raised an eyebrow. "They know what?" She smiled through tears. "That you didn't just save a girl." The beam lifted them slowly. Their feet left the ground. The outpost grew smaller below. The trees shrunk into green threads. The jungle looked quiet again, but this time, it was behind them. Inside the ship, it was silent. No crew, no controls, just soft light, round walls, and a soft hum that matched Sela's breath. She sat on a smooth seat, legs dangling, eyes wide with wonder. Cole stood beside her. "So," he said, "this is what peace feels like?" Sela nodded. "Feels like hope." Screen lit up before them, images flickered, star charts, unknown galaxies, coordinates written in strange but beautiful symbols. Sela touched one of the glowing shapes. "They're offering me a choice," she whispered. "A home." Cole watched her. "What do you want?" She looked at him. Her voice was firm now. Clear. "I want to sing without fear." He smiled. "Then let's find you a sky that listens." The ship moved faster now, rising above the clouds, cutting through the atmosphere without a sound. Behind them, planet Verinox faded into blue and green. But Sela didn't look back. She had nothing left there. except memories, and a fire she survived. She reached for Cole's hand, held it tightly. "You didn't have to save me," she said. "I know," he answered. "But I did." "Why?" He looked at her. "Because you were worth saving." She leaned against his side, closed her eyes. For the first time, she slept without fear. In the stars above, no one saw them. No cameras, no medals, no headlines. Just a human who refused to walk away from a scream, and a girl who was never meant to be burned, but to shine. And in that ship, heading toward a new world, she whispered one last time, "Thank you for carrying me home."